Do you believe that a person has the right to decide for themselves who they are? Or do you believe that a society has the right to dictate to people who they are?
This is a new low, even for TikTok. Hey guys, welcome back to a bonus episode of the Bread versus Everyone podcast, our daily show where I take on the craziest ideas in media, politics, and across the internet. Today, I am traveling for a family camping trip, so I'm just going to pre-record a fun bonus episode for you all where we will react to crazy woke TikToks because you guys get a kick out of these. You enjoy watching me suffer and lose brain cells for your viewing pleasure. So we're going to do some more of that today. Curse you all for making me do this. And up first, we have another delusional transgender TikTok take. Shocker, water is wet. The day is a day that ends in Y, and a trans activist is saying something delusional on TikTok. Let's listen.
The trans issue really is quite simple. It comes down to one question. Do you believe that a person has the right to decide for themselves who they are? Or do you believe that a society has the right to dictate to people who they are? If you believe the former, then you likely support trans people and may even be trans yourself. If you believe the latter, then you're an authoritarian.
Oh? So I'm an authoritarian if I don't think people have the right to decide for themselves what they are unchecked. Let's unpack this. Because, for example, I believe people have the right to call themselves whatever they want, even if they're not in fact that thing. But to test this person's logic, so if a person identifies as black, but they are in fact white, they get to decide however they identify, and we must accept that if we're loving and kind. Otherwise, you're an authoritarian. Really? That's what you're going with? Are we sure, my dude? Are we sure? Same with, like, what if a person literally identifies as a cat? They can just decide what they are. They get to decide their identity, not us, not society. No, obviously, society has some role in deciding how society will treat you, and you do not have an unlimited right to self-identify as whatever you want, and then anyone who rejects that is an authoritarian, bigot, extremist. This is not coherent, let alone a position, strategy, tactic that will ever work and ever secure any acceptance for actual trans people who want to just blend in and live their lives, most of whom would agree that this argument is absurd. But crazily enough, like, in one sense, oh, it's just some fringe person yapping on TikTok, sure. In another sense, I mean, this is the ethos behind the kind of self-ID policies that are embodied in many progressive places about gender issues, where you are whatever you say you are, no questions asked, no diagnosis needed, no treatment, no doctor's analysis, anything. Just check a box and boom, you're a woman that day. Obviously, we've seen how chaotic and toxic and harmful that mindset is in practice, and how it opens up spaces to abuses and vulnerable people. And I think it's insane, and I actually appreciate this person's willingness to state it so plainly, because when it's stated like this, people can understand how absurd it is. I believe most common sense people can. But when it's stated like, should people be allowed to choose their own gender on a government document without any paperwork? Some people might think, oh, sure, why not? What's the harm? Well, thank you. We've just seen the actual incoherent underlying basis of that belief, and it's quite something. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Hit that like button while you're at it, and make sure you're subscribed if you aren't yet. We're going to get educated by a friendly they-them TikTok user on they-them pronouns after this. It increasingly seems like culture war stories are at the heart of our politics, but these are the exact stories where it can be hardest to figure out what's actually going on. media spin, and partisan bias aside. The only way to figure out what's really going on is with Ground News, an amazing service I've used for years that helps me prepare this show. Ground News gathers news all around the world in one place, so you can see what both sides are saying and make up your own mind. Take California's ongoing feud with the Trump administration over transgender athletes in women's sports, for example. If you look at the left-leaning headlines that Ground News has aggregated, they read, for example, this one from the San Francisco Chronicle, California won't comply with Trump demand for state to ban trans athletes. But if you look at right-leaning media, like this report from the Daily Signal, California defies Trump again as state refuses to follow trans athlete order. There's a big difference there. And if you don't take my word for it, the Nobel Peace Center even called Ground News an amazing way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Plus, it's been recognized by Apple as App of the Day 5 times across 38 countries. Stop missing out. You can get the same plan that I use, which is the Vantage subscription, by going to the link on screen, ground.news/Brad, or by scanning the QR code on screen to get 40% off your access, which comes out to just about $5 a month. This exclusive discount is available through my link, so act now to burst your media bubble and keep your critical thinking skills sharp. All right, guys, up next, we've got another entry in the never-ending Olympics, mental gymnastics of Olympic levels, where you are never woke enough. So here's a non-binary person or a trans person, I don't even know, a gender educator on TikTok explaining how when people try to use they, them pronouns as the default to avoid misgendering anyone, God forbid, the greatest sin in these people's minds, it's actually problematic to do that. Let's listen and try to keep up. It won't be easy.
At the risk of opening discourse that I'm not entirely sure I'm prepared for, I just want to name that I'm seeing a disconnect across the last decade, 2 decades of gender education that has always encouraged defaulting to gender neutral pronouns, primarily they, them, instead of making assumptions and using traditionally gendered pronouns for people. And now I'm seeing kind of this emerging conversation, especially amongst kind of younger, late teenage, early 20s trans and NB folks, saying that using they, them for someone is misgendering someone and mispronouncing someone. And I am curious, how do we reconcile the advocacy to not make assumptions and this emerging thought around using they, them for people is inherently mispronouncing and misgendering them?
I am so tired, y'all. Newsflash to this individual. You will never reconcile this advocacy with the latest thing that non-binary young people are thinking, because it is all ever evolving. They will never be satisfied with anything, and that is the point. Whatever the new thing is, they will find a way to twist that into somehow harmful and depressive because they want to be victims. They want to be oppressed. We have, in some pockets of progressive American life and in some corners of the internet, established a culture where oppression and victimhood are forms of social currency. And as a result, people want to be victims. They want to be oppressed. So they will, if you change this, they will find a way to distort the new thing into somehow harmful and oppressive. That's the point. And until y'all finally get that through your heads, through your non-binary skulls, you will not understand it, and you will never, ever, ever be woke enough. I can't believe this is real life, y'all. I simply cannot. Up next, we have a lovely message from one friendly young woman on TikTok.
You know how we're not allowed to use the R word as an insult anymore? Well, that's okay, because I have a new R word that we can replace it with. Earlier this morning, I got annoyed with my husband and I was like, "Are you Republican?" And he was so hurt by that. He was genuinely offended. So,
All Republicans are dumb and stupid, and all liberals are smart and brilliant. Yeah, because the world is totally that simple. Who Who thinks this is like actually funny? Like, I'm laughing at it because it's so painful and cringe, not because it's actually funny. Who's the person who saw this video and was like, that slaps? She really ate with that? No. What? This is cringe and it's close minded and toxic. And when you are putting messages out in the world like this, you're not going to convince people. Like, they really think that belittling, mocking, insulting people, insulting their intelligence is how what? You get them on your side? Like, these are the democracy crowd, but they don't seem to realize that democracy, that whole democracy thing, requires convincing people, and insulting them over and over and over again tends not to be a great way to do that. Free advice from me to you. Up next, we're going to react to a very obese TikToker crashing out because somebody suggested that she should lose weight. It's kind of a wild one. Buckle up.
I'm sorry, but being obese is not a good thing. I know. I've been fighting it all my life. Maybe you should fight it too. That's what you sound like in my head, okay? 1, stop telling me that my existence is wrong or bad or not valid, because that's not cool. And where the did I ask for your advice on my body or my weight? Where did I ask? Where did I ask? Where did I ask? Where did I ask? Oh, I got some pizza stuff on my face. That's okay. But where did I ask? Where did I ask? Where did I ask for your advice? Oh, wait, nowhere. Never once have I asked for your advice on my body or my weight in my entire life. So I don't know why you're here giving it to me. I don't know why. I don't know why you're harassing me with this information. I don't know. But you really should take this projection and then continue hating on yourself instead of me. Because there's no need to project your own self-hatred onto me. You should just keep that to yourself and either work on it by following people and pages like mine, or staying in your miserable world and leaving fat people alone, because I don't need to know about you or your life. I never asked, because I don't give a I don't give a you've been fighting obesity your whole life, because guess what? That's not really a thing. But it does sound like you've had a miserable life doing it. So why don't you just stay in your own little bubble, stop projecting, leave me the alone, because I didn't ask.
Wow. She seems stable and lovely. I mean, there's so many layers and levels to this one. You mean to tell me you had pizza sauce on your face? You couldn't even respond to a comment telling you that you're obese and you should probably lose weight for your health without realizing you literally still had your last unhealthy meal on your face. It's beyond parody. You could not script that. And the rest of this is just, it's honestly sad. I kind of feel bad for this person. When she's like, you stop telling me my existence is wrong or bad or invalid. Like, what? What are you talking about? Nobody said you're evil or wrong or you're not valid. They said that you're morbidly obese and that is unhealthy and you should seek to change it. That's just a series of facts that's actually in your best interests. Like, what? So if we tell someone who smokes cigarettes, who smokes a pack a day, hey, you gotta quit. That's gonna kill you. You're gonna get lung cancer. We're saying they're not valid. You're undermining their existence. Why are you saying I'm bad? That's not it actually at all. And then the whole where did I ask thing. Well, when you created a TikTok account, started creating content about fat positivity and about your body and about all this stuff and publicly posting videos, then you asked for comments. Like that is part of the deal. You can't post content seeking to get views publicly and get a message out to the public. Then when people send you comments slightly criticizing you or offering you advice, being like, when did I ask? You asked by posting. Welcome to social media, love. Like, I don't know what to tell you. The same way, like, someone commenting politely once that you should consider losing weight for your health is not harassment. And y'all are watering down words constantly in the most diabolical fashion. And then what does she mean by fighting obesity is not a thing? Does she think like people can't or don't lose weight? it's not easy. Don't get me wrong. And my heart goes out to people who struggle with it. But it is like possible. It is a thing. And that's kind of a dangerous message to be pushing to people who are shortening their lifespans. Actually, there's no way to fight it. It's just, it is what it is. That's not true. And you shouldn't be encouraging people to not at least try to better their health so they can be there longer on this planet with us, because they are in fact valid. Their life does have value, and that we should be trying to prolong it. Like, the whole thing here is just sad. It reeks of insecurity and projection and this woman lashing out, but doing so while spreading an incredibly toxic message that I just don't support and don't appreciate. What do you guys think? I'm still not over the pizza sauce thing. Let me know in the comments. Okay, guys, we'll leave it there for this bonus episode of the Brad versus Everyone podcast. While you're watching this, I'll be camping with my in-laws and my partner's family. So hope you're all having a great week, and make sure you like, subscribe, yada, yada, yada. Shout out to Ground News for sponsoring today's episode, and we'll talk again real soon.